Hey everyone, so the book that I chose for my AP book was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey, right here. And the general plot of it takes place in an institution for the mentally disturbed. And it's supposed to it's supposed to show how authority has control over a minority by using fear and aggression against them and make them fearful so that they can have the ultimate power and control over them. And this is in the point of view of a character named Chief, who is schizophrenic. And I really love reading it from his point of view, not only because he's so truthful and honest, almost like a child, so you whatever he sees, you get it just point blank to the spot. There's no fancy language or anything that kind of can construe the point of the message. But also because Kenzie uses his schizophrenia to show the reader things that they might not see from people in the ward, especially the nurses and Nurse Ratched, the head nurse, because she comes off very sweet, very innocent, very kind, but in his point of view, when she's interacting with some of the people on the ward, when he sees her, it's almost like there's this monster that kind of just comes out of her, where she's very evil, very aggressive, mean, just not very nice person. And I love how you're able to see it through his point of view and how they use his mental disorder to show it. Also, the last thing I want to talk about that is really important, the main character, not the main character, but the protagonist, McMurphy, comes in later in the story. He's not like anyone else on the ward. He's very outgoing, very optimistic, kind of a bit of a rebel, like a punk, so to say. But they were having a conversation. He'd only been there for about 6 hours, so to say, but he could already tell how things worked. The nurses would kind of undermine everyone in the ward and make them feel bad about themselves. They would humiliate him. They were talking about one guy's like sexual orientation or something like that, and just absolutely making fun of him in every sense of the word of it. But he started talking and was saying, this isn't right, we can't have them have this control over us, this isn't okay. And they all agreed with him. They know that that's what's happening. And they had this analogy that they used, and it was, everyone on the ward is like a bunny, and everyone who's a nurse is like a wolf. Now, they use this analogy because when you think of bunnies, they're very soft, they're cute, they're sweet, innocent, they can't do much harm. And a wolf, being very powerful, and in an ecosystem, they usually devour bunnies to cut down how many there are in the population and also to sustain the life of the wolf. I thought that was really cool, because it does show that not only that, but when bunnies come together, by being the mentally insane people, they reproduce, they make more. So everyone on the ward is a male. They keep them away from the females because they don't want them to reproduce and create more of a problem. Also, the wolves would eat them and kind of cut down on how many there are. But Harding, the one that they were making fun of for his sexual orientation, says to McMurphy, the protagonist, "You're a wolf." And I thought that was very meaningful because they see in McMurphy someone who has a fighting chance against the unjust of the authority, and someone who is going to help lead them to their understanding that they need to stand up for their rights. They need to fight for what they deserve as people, because even though they have these mental problems, they're still very intelligent people. They still understand the way that things work. They understand human nature. And it's just because of one little oddity, like this one person, he stutters while he talks, they use it against him. and they say that because of that they're not good enough or equal to any other human. So I really like this because it's a whole story about going up against authority, especially if it's unjust authority.